What's up, my YouTube family? This here is my Luminaire QAV-XS build, and the reason I'm sharing this with you guys today is capacitors. I have a 1000 microfarad 35 volt capacitor, low ESR, that I had installed. I had installed it back when I first did the build, but it was a cold solder joint, and I think I wind up having a ground issue on the positive side, the positive lead with it, and I started having some wonky stuff started happening, and I had to abort the old capacitor. Didn't hurt anything, just was having some weird stuff happen. But in this board, this is the BetaFlight F3 board. It's real. It has the positive pad is underneath the board on the bottom side of the frame, which you probably cannot see. But everybody kind of that is familiar with the BetaFlight F3 board knows what I'm talking about. It's there. You can see the solder joint just a little bit. Let's see if I can focus right there. You can see where I kind of cut into it there to solder onto it, because I didn't put it on before I installed the board. And as you see, I have ESCs on my arms, so made it quite challenging to try to solder a wire or solder a capacitor on there. It looks like it's an open. It looks open right here, but it's actually not. It's I use this stuff right here. If anybody is familiar with this, silicone modified conformal coating. It's good stuff. If you don't have some, get some. I found it on Amazon. Really good stuff. You put it on all your electronics, and it keeps moisture. And if you have foreign debris, metal in there floating around, like say your cut wires, things like that, if you've already coated before you won't have anything shorting out, because it's like a heat sink. It protects it like a heat sink. I coat everything with it, okay, everything, and I even coat and heat sink just in case vibrations, stuff doesn't rub through. Extra precautions. I'm just meticulous. Here you see this glob of goo is, of course, hot glue right here and here. This is I do run the Turnigy Evo, so this is the FS8 or FS-A8S receiver. I had to turn it sideways and solder my connection points on because I couldn't see my LED readout for my channels on my video transmitter. So and the cord was in the way, and this looked bad, and I was getting some bad connections here, which this was turned the other way, but my receiver wasn't arming my quad. Wasn't light. It would light up and then go off, and that was it. So I hardwired it. But back to the capacitor. What I had done here is I guess once again, this is going to be hard to see because I've already put liquid electrical tape on, but I just cut a square with my hobby knife, cut a square into the negative terminal of the wire, and I cut a square into the positive terminal of the wire because I can't get to it any other way. So I didn't like doing it, but I did it. I conformal coated it, and I liquid electrical taped it after I soldered it. So ran it to here, enough wire, cut my leads down that come off the capacitor, soldered those, and conformal coated and heat sink those also. And also conformal coat the ends of these capacitors, both ends, just in case, because that is aluminum, and I'm afraid that anything can happen. It does have some heat sink on it, but it's resting on hot glue. I just hot glued it in. Works. It's solid as a rock. It's solid. It's not going. The whole board moves when I move it, so it's not going anywhere. But this is the inside of my build. I'm using the Puro Flip soft mount 3D printed doodads. The reason it's at an angle is because the pod that I'm using holds the XT60 in the back, which smashes it all the way down. That's where that wire comes in at, this copper wire. I just take a pair of needle nose and I twist it all up, twist it up, and it holds my XT60 down. My board's solid. When I yank my lipo out, nothing moves. It's on, zip ties don't hold that. The holes are staggered. You can kind of see the holes there. They're staggered too far apart. If they were closer to the XT60, it would work better. And they need to kind of be, right next to the hole, or right next to the XT60, but they're not. Why they done that is beyond me, so I use that. It's kind of like a bread tie. It holds better. I got to replace that one because it's already been twisted. It'll break off next time I try to twist it. But yeah, these soft mounts, I was getting a lot of noise back into my gyro, causing a crazy stuff to happen as I fly. And I still get some noise. The copter actually feels like it's kind of doing this as I fly. It's kind of jerking feeling. But other than that, that's the inside of my build. Just wanted to share that with everybody. It's raining out. It's nothing but rain. It's nasty outside, so that's why I'm working in here right now, just doing maintenance work. But that's it for today. Thanks, guys.